Well, hello there and welcome to another edition of The Big Q. Now, on Monday, August 9th, 2021, Energy Cotel, a local private energy development firm, became the first local medium enterprise to debut on the Rwanda Stock Exchange by listing of 6.5 billion Rwandan francs, a long-term fixed-rate corporate bond. But to speak more on this, of course, I'm joined by the Executive Director, Mr. Freddy Turasenga. Thank you very much, sir, for making time to be with us.
Fiona, thank you for having me.
So tell us more, who is or what is Energy Cotel?
Energy Cotel is, as the word says, it's an IPP, what we call independent power producer, and also consulting company. So in the word Energy Cotel, there is energy, consulting, and yes, transmission of electricity.
And how long have you been here? How long have you been in this sector?
We started in 2010, but I may say Energy Cotel itself is 7 years old.
It is 7 years old. So of course we were used to hearing public investment, people diving into the energy sector. How and what pushed you to get to investing in this particular sector today?
Look, energy sector, energy grows with economy. So when Rwanda was pushing for economic growth, so I was very lucky because it was the time I was finishing school. Then there was a lot of, you remember when RDB was, when RDB was starting, so there was a lot of encouragement. Different sectors, agriculture, but energy, because I studied electrical engineering. So I wanted to be part of this.
Be part of the vision.
Part of the vision and the strategy.
So maybe take us briefly, personally, through your journey in business that you found yourself here as a young person today.
It's a long journey because I grew up, my family, my father was doing business. I also had other family members who were doing a business. So even growing up, I tried many things. Even being a student in Pretoria where I was studying, I remember I used to sell some ice cream. And,
oh, really?
And I used to do also, before Uber came, I was doing a private Uber to the fellow students. I think guys who know me in Pretoria, they remember me dropping them at the airport, charging them. Yes, I think South African government, I owe them some taxes.
Some taxes. So how did you dive in personally into energy then?
I saw the opportunity. The government of Rwanda was really very serious in the way they organized the policy around the investments. They put in place a well-organized structure of opening up for IPP, what you call independent power producers, power purchase agreement, signed in the US dollars, government guarantees, and of course our market. Our market is a prepayment, electricity is prepaid. So that means a lot to the sector. Because by the time you generate electricity, somebody has prepaid it.
Already?
Yes, because you go to prepare electricity.
That is true.
By the time I invoice the utility, the money is in there.
The money is there, so it's a win-win for you.
Yeah, it's a win-win for us as investors, win-win for the economy, win-win for at large.
Absolutely. Now that your company is public, how are you going to use this money? Because in terms of transparency, when we invest, say, in buying a bull, we also want to know what this company is going to use this money for. What is going to happen now?
Our bond, though it is 6.5 billion, it was cut into tranches. Tranche one was to refinance our existing loan so that we finish with the banks and so that the new investors join us without having any loan, because it will be, you don't want to all
too many people.
Too many people. The bond holders, it's one type and aspect of financing. We didn't want to mix it with bank. So now the next tranche, which is 3 billion, it will be used now for the new projects and expansion.
And the expansion of the project.
Yes.
So how much is the bond, if I should ask? Can someone like me be able to afford it or even buy it?
The first tranche, we issued 3.5 billion, which was purchased 100%.
Yes.
And that's what we called, it was the primary, it was primary purchased by some bond holders currently, and it was listed on what you call secondary market, on Rwanda Stock Exchange. Today, primary, you could the minimum was 100 million, a coupon.
Okay.
Today, at the secondary market, a coupon is at 1 million.
So it is at 1 million Rwandan francs per coupon.
Per coupon. That's the minimum.
That's the minimum.
That's yes.
What type of electricity do you produce?
We in Rwanda we are producing through hydro. Hydroelectricity. So it's what you call a run off the river technology. Very, very simple and very sustainable a way of producing electricity. We're also looking at methane gas at Lake Kivu. That is in Rwanda.
That's in Rwanda.
And we're also looking at solar. We've got a project we are looking at out of Rwanda, in Zimbabwe actually. And also the RSE, we are looking at some hydro and solar projects as well.
So you'd say that you perfectly fit in the country's vision to export electricity, because this is something that the government is really looking into, exporting electricity in the near future. Yes,
very, very interesting. In fact, we call it export from the perspective of Rwanda. But the way energy, the behavior of energy as a service or as a commodity, it can really, it's the easiest service to be delivered cross-border. Because it's just through the wires and the metering. As long as two countries can agree on this cross-border trade, the rest is easy. Technologically, even to collect the payments, because you could just introduce a prepayment system, and then the rest is just an easy operation to manage.
That is true. Yeah. So how many countries are you in today? Because I believe not all countries have the prepaid kind of system. So how does it work when you move to other countries as well?
Prepayment system of electricity is a program that is pushed very aggressively by World Bank, because it is a way to make the energy sector bankable and feasible. And it gives also, it creates a traffic of transactions between the utility or the IPP utility and the grid management company. So all countries are going by. It's not like it's a choice. It is the only way. If every country has to go by prepayment, at least for the retail consumers. So the what you call the industrial consumers, they can still do post-payment, because for them it's so easy to, first of all, they are few, and it's so easy to measure what they are consuming. And otherwise, imagine dealing with 300,000 households in collection of bills. So that's why we get a lot of losses in between.
That is true. Yes. So how many countries are you in today?
So right now we are operating in Rwanda, of course, as a home, as our headquarters. We have an office in Harare as well. We have an office in DRC, and we are also working on a project in Kenya with another partner. So I may say, for the moment, those are the 4 countries.
The 4 countries
that you are working.
Industrialization has always been, something that people push for, especially governments. For you, do you feel that this is a win-win for you, especially that we are pushing for mechanization, we're pushing for industrialization? And do you feel in the future this is something that can be easily absorbed across all countries to ensure that we have electricity, but also industrialization is not left behind?
If you look at this in 2 perspectives, first of all, we need to look at this to say, let's say, for example, Rwanda has got electricity. Right now, we are producing all our needs now. We are able to meet them. We've got neighbors who are still a little bit, who still have some load shedding. And load shedding is like when you don't have enough
electricity
supply, because electricity is supply and demand. They have too much. Unfortunately, it's not easy to store electricity. As you generate, people have to consume. And you've got mining in the industries on the other side. So for me, I see is an ecosystem which everyone will take advantage of in a positive way. So I will produce electricity, and as we produce more, it gets actually more affordable.
That is true.
The less power we have, the more
more
expensive
expensive
power
it becomes.
we produce. So see it as an ecosystem that is how can I say, complete, that complement each other. So industrialization goes up, more electricity production, cost of electricity goes down, cost of production of materials and services goes down as well. Yes.
Let's go now to your connection with the capital market. You know, what I know is that they have a lot of conditions like transparency, you know, profitability, corporate governance, all this. And it's not easy for small companies to dive into this, you know. How easy or how difficult was it for you to qualify to actually be in this space today?
It wasn't simple and it wasn't so difficult. They were really accommodating. But again, since this is public money, they told us, you know, the list of items we need to be compliant with. And I may say it's a process that took us close to 2 years. And today I can really thank Capital Market Authority, Rwanda Stock Exchange, all the stakeholders and the advisors who were with us through this journey.
Through the journey.
Yes.
Now, for those who plan to join you in this, what will be your tip to them today?
You mean like other IPPs?
Yes, the
who wants to
IPPs,
join?
yeah.
Look, it is the way to go, because look, in the power generation, these are long-term investments. So we're talking about 25 years of payment collections.
Yeah.
So the beauty of capital markets, you've got money in the deposits. Say the money that I'm depositing today for my retirement, that money can be can serve to produce more power that we use every day, as it generates interest as well, so that my pension funds is kept in such a profitable investment. Also, I'm contributing at the same time to the growth of my economy. So I'm telling to all the IPPs, please don't get discouraged. It's very hard to produce, to finish a project. It's very complicated.
It is complicated.
Engineering-wise, technical-wise, financing, as far as financing is concerned, is not simple, but it is worth it.
It is worth
the journey is worth to walk.
Well, we'll take a short break. Of course, when we come back, we're still talking about electricity and probably just tips and bits and bits, of course, of his journey towards the business. So do keep it the big key.
RBA app is here. How to get it? It is easier than ever. Go on your home screen. Press Play Store or App Store. Type RBA. Search. There you go. You have RBA app. You have all RBA radios, news, business news, sport and entertainment.
Welcome back, and thank you very much for choosing to stay with us right here on the Big Q. Of course, I'm still talking to Mr. Freddy Turasenga. He is the Executive Director of Energy Cartel Company. And of course, we've been talking about electricity throughout his journey. We have learned that, of course, you passed through the investment clinic. How did the program help your company to be where you are today?
It was actually a very interesting journey. Investment clinic, they help, it's like a measure. It's like you go measure yourself up. Because you are going public and you've been private
before.
So you need, it's like a training ground. So they have been very helpful because they took us through the process of training, preparation, and here we are to tell us what to expect, and with their assistance, we didn't really miss any opportunity along the way. We were every opportunity that we found, we were able to maximize it. Yeah, it's because of their support.
Of course, you've told us how you are in Zimbabwe, you're in Kenya. Do you plan to export in other parts of the neighboring countries within?
I mean, as export of power or services?
Power and services, both.
Yes. When it comes to export of power, of course, we only export where we are interconnected. I'm talking about through transmission, distribution network, which is very easy with a smart technology that is available today. We are able to sell power and measure power and look at the efficiency and losses and consumption and even monitoring of theft is possible by smart metering and technology that is available today. When it comes to services then, this is a great opportunity because remember Rwanda, we are French and English speaking.
Yes.
If you want, we can now switch to French. So this gives us another advantage of now. And also remember, Rwanda is advanced in terms of electrification program.
It is.
So imagine now some other countries who are still at 25 access
to electricity.
So now we can just go and give them some services. So this is an opportunity of creating employment and importing foreign currency in our country through job creation. Yeah, and even revenue repatriation through dividends and etc. It's a very good opportunity. And electricity, I always say electricity is a bit addictive. Once you have it, you don't want to lose it.
That's true.
So those communities, once they have, they want more. And wanting more, they'll need more from us.
Yeah.
And needing more from us, we invoice more.
So more money for you.
Thank you.
I want to take you back through your journey. You know, we have so many young people outside who haven't embraced the fact that they can come back home and work. You know, you went to school in Pretoria, like you've said.
Yes.
What pushed you to come back and invest in your country?
Look, Fiona, people need to see things differently. There are people who say, no, I don't see a job. There are no opportunities there. Me, I saw there is no job, no opportunity. So the only opportunity is to create opportunities.
To create opportunities.
So that's what I'm telling them. You know, those guys that went to school with us, who are in the countries that are more advanced than us, we have more opportunity than them because we can come here and create things.
That's true.
They only go there and be fixed in the frame. I'm also a type of person who likes to be innovative and start things from scratch and say, I've made an impact here and there. So for those people who really want to make an impact, look at the continent. Look how as you come down from Egypt, you see it gets darker and darker. But at least when it gets to Rwanda, there's some lights flashing somewhere. So that's the opportunity. Like our company, we focus on two main things. Electricity and housing. And the type of housing we are talking about in our company is not really it's not luxury housing. We're talking about affordable housing.
Common house.
So those are the opportunities. So then these opportunities, whether it's electricity or housing, can be done by young people. People still have, you know, the energy
to work.
The energy, and who can still go up there and spend more hours at site and do some work.
And to the young ones who probably give up easily, you know, from once upon a time an Uber driver, if I should say so, yeah, to who you are today, you know, the executive director of your own company, what would you tell them?
Fiona, there's a nickname I used to have. They used to call me engineer cuisinier. Why? Because when I finished engineering school, I didn't get a job immediately as an engineer or in the engineering field. I was working in a hotel.
Wow.
So, and my friends used to joke, engineer cuisinier. You understand what I mean?
Yes.
So it doesn't matter. And from that position, that's where I got actually the inspiration of starting my own company. Because I was now trained to figure out things when I was still young and even working more hours and I get to know people. Because in the hotel where I was working, I get to meet people. So opportunity connects to a next opportunity. So to these young people, don't despise any opportunity that is put in front of you, especially the ones that people are not fighting for. So if people are fighting for a job already, why don't we just look for the one that is not being crowded, and then you know what, just start and be innovative around you, because it's less crowded. You have a space to do something. So that's what I can tell them. Yes.
Maybe five tips then to leadership, because you've been a very helm of your company, you know. What are the tips to leadership? Because when you talk, like I talk to you, you're not, you know, the kind of CEO that others would say, no, you can't talk to this, he's very high there. But what would you talk about when it comes to the tips of being a good leader today?
You mean advice to the CEOs or to
Not the
people
CEO,
under
to the people who are watching us today, the young ones?
First of all, just be human. You see, it's not complicated to be a human. Remember how you grow up. Remember the needs. I always tell people the needs are the same. Whether you, I don't know, whether you stay, I don't know, New York or end of the day, you need a bed.
That's true.
You need the water to drink. You need clothes. And so if you approach life in that perspective, everything becomes easy. If I meet you, I know I'm meeting a human being. I talk to you as I'm talking to a human being. And then we evolve in a conversation as a humankind. So from there, if one tip, just be human. You want a second one?
Yes.
Whatever opportunity that is there, embrace it, because opportunity and time, they don't wait.
Yeah.
They present themselves. If you don't grab them, they go. You want a third one?
So before I let you go then, to anyone watching, why should we be buying from you today? Why are we buying your bond? Why should we invest in you today?
My bond, okay, NH Hotel's bond.
Yes.
NH Hotel's bond is very, it's got a very good return. It's a 13.75% annually return. Like I say, it's secure, it's safe, because it's a renewable energy. Hydropower is really a blessing from God. It's a river that runs 365 days. Technology of hydropower is more than 100 years old. So maintaining it and everything, there's really nothing can go wrong. Payment from the client is prepaid, like I said. So I don't see any risk or any major hindrance that will not let you get your return, especially that your return is really guaranteed in a secured account. That is, I can't access even the payments myself. So it's already a team of consultants who works with a bank that they manage all those funds. So come for a good return and secured bond.
Let's secure yourself a bond. Well, thank you very much, sir, for making time to be with us.
Thank you, Fiona. It was a good one.
Thank you, sir. And as usual, my name is Fiona Babazi. Thank you very much for joining us. Keep suggesting who you want to see on the show, and have yourselves a good evening.